Many federal Liberals have been wondering, we should be looking at the revolutions of the right overseas. Donald Trump in the US, Nigel Farage in Britain. I mean, Nigel Farage has just got 5 seats in Parliament at the moment. But you've got polls that have been showing him looking like a runaway winner at the next election with more support than the Labor government and Conservative opposition combined. Anti-immigration, anti-net zero, it was all working. But there may indeed be a lesson for the Liberals in Nigel Farage, but it's a bit different than you might expect. The latest polls, the very latest polls, show a big drop in support for Farage's Reform Party. It's still on top, no question about that. But the Conservatives now got off the floor and nearly caught up with Labor, and, well, it's all starting to look interesting. And that has happened after the Conservatives toughened up their talk on immigration, scrapped the net zero target, and it was after Leader Kemi Badenoch got punchier in Parliament too, really going for Labor. All of that seems to me, well, what's happening right at the moment, or could. The Liberals here are going to do their immigration policy very soon. Joining me from London is Talk TV presenter Samara Gill. Samara, great to see you again. Well,
likewise.
I've been admiring your career taking off over there. It's wonderful. Why is Nigel Farage on the slide? Although I should point out he is still leading.
Look, the first thing to say is, yes, Nigel Farage is still very much comfortably in front. Anyone who's sort of writing his political obituary is doing it far too early. That's not happening. But you are right. There is a noticeable slide kind of down from him. And what shocked a lot of people is that for months, almost a full year, we've had total Farage mania over here. It's sort of whatever Farage does, all the other political parties then do. So he speaks, they do it. And I feel like what's happened is pretty simple. It's exactly as you said, Andrew. And I think Australia's sort of Liberals could learn a thing or two from it. They finally woke up from their coma. Kemi Badenoch, who was hugely unlikable when she came in, she did toughen up on illegal migrant messaging, the crime. They also junked all the net zero deadlines that they originally brought in. So that was their own mess that they're now saying that they caused. And crucially, they basically started talking to what Farage calls the alarm clock class. So, you know, these are the people that get up before dawn. They pay their taxes. They keep the lights on. They feel totally ignored by the Labor government over here at the moment. But unfortunately, I do think it's a very similar situation to what the Liberal Party in Australia is dealing with. They are finally echoing these issues that reform has put in place and sort of put reform into a surge, which is obviously the illegal migration, the energy, the crime. But the issue is you can just say you had 14 years to do it, Conservatives, and you didn't. And I feel like
Correct.
Australia's got the same issue.
Oh, look, no, it's spot on. But I mean, if you may as well start doing it now. It shouldn't have taken this long. Shouldn't have taken that prod. Like here, it's One Nation giving a red hot go. They should have done it before, but it's best they start right now than not do it at all. One of the themes I think is very interesting that the Conservatives are pushing is one that's in language I doubt the Liberals could get away with here. Or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. It's a pitch to the working poor, and we've got them here too, people that work and find they can barely afford the food in the supermarket with inflation and all that. In Britain, it's framed as the workers are paying for shirkers, for people on what the Conservatives are calling Benefit Street or whatever. And that was actually best expressed by a TikTok video by a bricklayer that went viral, showing him at work in the snow, saying, some days I want to give up, but there are people on benefits depending on me. Very sarcastic, but I think that message is over. Why is that video touching a nerve?
You know, I think it's hitting a nerve, well, especially here in Britain, but also in Australia, because at least in Britain, you've got 1 million foreign nationals on benefits per year. You've got sort of 1 million more British people joined the welfare system just last year under this shiny new Labour government that we brought into power. As I said, you've got crime going up, especially violent youth crime, and you've got a lot of youths going directly on benefits, you know, claiming I've got anxiety, I've got depression, something that I actually think a job would fix the most. So you are getting this nation that is very, very reliant on the state. And then to add to that, over here in Britain, you've got illegal migration. We've got 110,000 people that entered the country illegally last year, and thousands of them are coming across the channel in small boats. Now, obviously, thanks to Tony Abbott and Operation Sovereign Borders, we don't have that problem in Australia, the small boat one at least. But, you know, these asylum seekers, they're being placed in 4-star hotels in the center of these working class communities. So I've done quite a lot of reporting over here in Britain. And, you know, you've got people who are choosing between giving their children lunch or dinner, and then you've got migrants being put up in 4-star hotels getting 3 hot meals a day. So you can see that there is this chasm and this class divide that's going on in Britain where, you know, that more and more we're seeing working people working just to fund those who want to sit at home and do nothing, quite frankly.
Except in Australia, the difficulty for the Liberals would be that I think something like half of Australians, the government is their main source of income in a salary, pension, benefit, or whatever. So that might be interpreted as a bit too close to the bone for them. Just very quickly, the hatred of the left for Nigel Farage off the scale. And there's now even claims from historian Lisa Hilton, who's presented documentaries for the BBC, that BBC makeup artists used bodily fluids when doing Farage's makeup when he appeared on air. That can't be true, can it? You've got 20 seconds to say yes or no.
This is shocking. The hatred is off the scales. Whenever Nigel's come into the studio in London, he remembers the assistant producer's name from 6 weeks ago. So it's ridiculous and it's outrageous, and he should sue if this is true, Andrew.
But is it true? But with the BBC, with some of the scandals we've seen there, Samara, I don't put anything past them. Samara Gill, thank you so much for your time.